Everyone, come on in. Welcome back to Weather on the Go. All your weather coverage on this Thursday, November 21st, 2024. And in today's video, we got a lot to talk about, including two big storm systems currently moving across parts of North America, bringing rain and snow and even life-threatening flash flooding. So we're going to be going over that, looking at the long range as we get closer to Thanksgiving and into the first week of December. So we're going to do all of that here in the video. So I can't stress this enough. Subscribe to the channel down below for the latest weather information right at your fingertips. You subscribe, you turn on the post notification bell, you are notified when I have my videos posted here whenever they are posted. Also, press the like button, the thumbs up button down below. It really does help out more than you know. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those after the video. Here are your temperatures we woke up to this morning, and it was chilly up here into the Black Hills region of the Dakotas, into eastern Montana, and more so in southwestern Canada, where we woke up to temperatures in the single digits to teens this morning. That freezing line moving all the way south into the Kansas City area, Indianapolis, even as far south as Dodge City, Kansas here this morning. And as we go into the afternoon, that is going to recover those temperatures into the 20s, 30s, and 40s, but it will be cold enough across the northern tier of the United States as we go in through the afternoon for potentially some snowfall. Talk about that here momentarily. Going into Friday, yeah, you can see the colder dump of air across the eastern U.S. all the way down into Florida, and this doesn't mean Florida is going to see temperatures at 10 degrees Fahrenheit. This just means temperatures are below normal for Florida standards for the late portion of November. And looking here at our two big low pressure systems, we got one very strong, powerful low pressure system here in the Northeast Pacific that's driving our atmospheric river into the West Coast. Very heavy rain with life-threatening flash flooding, very heavy snow, high winds. And then we have another stronger low pressure sitting right over central Lake Michigan. That is driving the backside of that low pressure system, our wind-driven snow machine as we go through today. And then that will shift off further to the east as we go into the day on Friday as a 990 millibar low over there in eastern New York State. So looking here at the weather alerts across the United States, we got a lot going on here. We got wind advisories in the tans across parts of Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois in those purple shaded colors from Milwaukee down to Chicago and Cook County, all the way down into Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Lexington, all the way over here into portions of the Appalachians, the Poconos, into Pennsylvania. We actually do have those winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings in the pinks in the Appalachians, where we're going to get a lot of snow out there. And then out west in the green, those are flood watches where we are anticipating very heavy, if not life-threatening flash flooding, and winter storm watches and warnings in the Sierras there as we go in through the next couple of days where very heavy snow is anticipated. So here are the winds that we're going to be dealing with over the next 48 hours. This goes through Saturday, November 23rd, and you can see the western lakes and the southern lakes is going to be the strongest recipient to this, where we could see 40, perhaps 50 mile per hour wind gusts here, and this is going to be wind-driven snow out here as well. Look at the radar depiction this afternoon, and if you live in Rockford, Chicago, Milwaukee, even Indianapolis, Detroit, you guys are going to be seeing some heavier snow bands move in, and a lot of that wind whipping it around this afternoon. And then you look out west, the atmospheric river continues, very heavy rains for Northern California, some snow mixed in there for the southern Cascades in southern Oregon. That'll really continue in earnest as we go into tonight. The snow shield will start to move off to the east tonight from the Great Lakes, more into the eastern Ohio Valley and the Northeast, the mid-Atlantic states, and then that really continues as we go into Friday as that low pressure just continues to wind up across the Northeast. And you guessed it, out west, yeah, the atmospheric river continues, very heavy rain, and there's the heavy snow, getting big dumping of snow here Friday night across the northern and central Sierras, so get ready for that. A lot of moisture with these two systems across the Northeast and then out here across the West Coast. And looking here in Northern California, yeah, we're going to see another additional foot to foot and a half of rain as we go through Saturday alone over the next 48 hours. So if you live here in Northern California, Be on the lookout for life-threatening flash flooding here. Moderate risk to high risk. This is a rare high risk for flooding here in Northwest California, the likes of which hasn't happened in over 10 years, over a decade. And then that means widespread flash floods are expected. Areas that don't normally flood could, and this is why it is a serious situation. It is a rare high risk for flash flooding. A moderate risk for flash flooding continues tomorrow on Friday for the northern Sierras and parts of northern California with the runoff from the snow, some snow melt out there, maybe some mudslides, some very heavy rainfall leading to those mudslides. Definitely not a good situation there in Northern California. Our two systems will be bringing in some heavy snow, especially for the Appalachians. We'll talk about that in a minute, but look out west. Cascades, the northern central Sierras, the Northwest Rockies, even into Idaho, into Montana. Going to be seeing feet of snow in the highest of elevations, an additional 90 to 100 inches of snow in some of these areas. So definitely good news for the ski resorts out west. And then looking at the Appalachians, especially from the Poconos down here into portions of western Maryland and into West Virginia, we could be literally seeing 2 feet of snow in the highest of elevations here. And then outside of that for places like Milwaukee, Chicago, Rockford, Illinois, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Lexington, those areas that could have those pesky wind-driven snow showers today and into tomorrow, those areas could see a 1 to 2 inch variety snows, mainly on grassy surfaces as we go through the weekend. Here is the travel troubles these two systems will bring when it comes to frozen precipitation. Winter storm severity index, you have those major and extreme travel impacts across the Sierras there. So like Truckee, California, going to be a problem, and in Northern California with the rain and snow combined. And then more limited to moderate travel inconveniences across the east here with that pesky low pressure that winds up wind-driven snow over the next 48 hours. Be watching that through the weekend. Speaking of the weekend here, looking at Saturday the 23rd, Sunday the 24th of November, and believe it or not here, we're getting close to late November, and you could realize that when we get into late November, the colder air comes around and you start to see that building up here in southwestern Canada, moving into the United States, and this will translate from west to east across the United States, but it will come here very slowly. So Saturday afternoon, looking at the temperatures to the north, it's in the 20s and 30s up across the northern tier of the United States, warmer air further to the south. And then as we go into Sunday, notice teens for highs. Yes, teens for highs across Montana and parts of western North Dakota as that bulk of that cold air moves in from southwestern Canada and into the northern tier of the United States. And looking at the weekend's precipitation prospects, we're looking at some bigger snows for the Northwest Rockies, continuing big snows for the Sierras and Cascades, rainfall in the lower elevations on Saturday, and then more pesky snow showers across the north and northwest on Sunday. Most of the eastern U.S. will be dry. And looking at next week's temperature pattern, Monday, from Sunday to Monday, that colder air continues to move further southeast, oozing in from Canada into the central United States. That will continue as we go into Wednesday, but a stronger push, a more widespread push of cold air comes in, and this goes all the way down here into Mexico, coastal Texas, the Gulf Coast, and northern Florida, with below to even well below normal temperatures by next Friday, a week from tomorrow. This is after Thanksgiving, and it's not a surprise to see this because the ice cover up here into the Arctic Circle, the snowpack really building up here into Alaska, Yukon, the Northwest Territories, British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, you name it. We have a lot of the snow cover starting to build up there in western and central Canada. And that colder air will start to move in over top of that snowpack and move it over portions of the northern United States. As colder air moves over that snowpack, it will make the northern U.S. colder and the eastern U.S. colder as we round out November. And it's going to come with a lot of fanfare. We're going to have some precipitation with this active storm track across the United States, pretty much a cross-country storm track from the Rockies all the way to the East Coast. And this is going to bring a couple of storm systems. So starting off Monday, next work week on November 25th. Pesky low pressure up here again in the Great Lakes, really bringing lighter precipitation overall. Heavier snows back to the west. New storm system coming in on Monday. That'll grab attention into the Rockies on Tuesday. Moving across the country, kind of elongating from the Rockies to the Midwest and the Mid-South as we go into Wednesday. If all the energy can come together with the cold air, a more significant system can develop with potentially some snowfall on the northern side, heavy rain, maybe isolated severe weather on the southern side, and then Friday that looks like it phases a little bit more with the jet stream energy, so we have a much more significant system with a cold front, heavier rains for the Carolinas, down into portions of Georgia and North Florida, watching out for isolated severe weather next Friday there, and then maybe more snow into interior Northeast and interior New England and up into Canada as we go into Friday. And lake effect snow machine may be a thing as well with those warmer lakes out there. And looking at precipitation next week, looks like it's really the Rockies to the east here. That's what we see. And the snow track will be on the northern side of the low pressure. Again, how exactly that cold air comes together with the precipitation will dictate snow amounts and everything like that, but the track of the low pressure system is also key. The intensity of the low pressure system is also key. So something to keep an eye on as we go into next week, and we'll be doing that right here for you on this channel. And then, by the way, going into early December, December 1st through December 8th, the colder air will be sticking around, especially if we can drop some snow on the northern side of that low pressure system into the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and interior New England. That will leave some colder air behind a little bit longer if we can drop some snow out from that. And if that does occur, that could help with systems behind that right on its heels to produce more of those clipper type systems out of Canada dropping southeast in the United States, or those cross-country snow tracks from portions of the Rockies over there toward the Appalachians and the East Coast. Something we'll be watching into early December. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for the latest weather information right at your fingertips. Turn on post notification bell for the latest weather information here, and you are notified for my videos and live streams. Like the video. I cannot stress this enough. Like the video by giving it a thumbs up down below, and also leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those after the video, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Thursday out there.